Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I just recently started a new Let's Play series, but I don't only want that to be part of my channel. I also still want there to be other content, especially around Animal Crossing. And I've also received a couple of questions about some of my other islands, if I'm still working on them, all that kind of stuff. And I feel like we're all very confused what's even happening. So I thought today would be the perfect time to sit down, just give you a brief overview of the islands that I'm currently working on, how far along they are. I'll try to give you a percentage estimate of how much I've done on those, but of course, you know, and we'll kind of talk about where we're working on them, where we are working on them. But yeah, basically we'll just kind of take a look at them and chat about them very briefly. I do want to say before we get started, I'm aware that I might get a little bit of hate today because I do have more switches than the average person has, or maybe even should have. Please keep in mind that I do use them for content creation, mainly for decorating Animal Crossing islands, and therefore being able to provide like different aesthetics is kind of awesome and also kind of important in my eyes. Plus there is one more situation that I'll explain when we get there, and just generally please be kind. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started talking about the islands. I will start in order of which one I've had the longest. So let's start with Naporia. Naporia, I think I started this year as well. So all the islands have been started this year. Naporia is the island that has absolutely no cliffs. It's a completely flat island. However, to make up for that, I have tons of waterscaping on that island. We originally started calling it a lush swamp core, but then a lot of people always thought that it's going to be that type of like muddy and rainy swamp, but that's not really what I wanted to do. I much rather wanted it to be super lush, blue sky with a few clouds, you know, very green pretty much. And so at some point we started calling it a lush green archipelago because there is a lot of waterscaping on that island. It is the island I've had for the longest, and at the same time I would say it's probably the island that's the furthest along. Is that how you say it? Basically, if I were to give you a percentage, I would say we are about maybe 60 to 70% done. There are still a couple of like bigger areas to decorate on that island, such as like a bigger junkyard or trashy area. I still have to decorate the outside of my own house. There's still a couple of villager yards that are not decorated, such as Bee, Grizzly, Flurry, and Weber, I believe, and all of the beaches are still empty, plus my entire house isn't decorated. So there's still a little bit to do. Usually I work on this island on stream, which also explains why there's not really been anything happening there, as I've been taking like about a month off of streaming. I have been working on a couple of the villager homes, and my plan was to swampify them. So I took their like original interior and tried to kind of take a few of those aspects, a few of those furniture pieces, and then just turn them into something a little bit more swampier or like more green essentially. But yeah, I still have lots of fun working on this island, and I will definitely continue to do so. Any codes I use on this island are linked on my card, which I'll put down in the comments below, and also I will try and put the playlist for all of the islands that I'll be talking about, as long as there is one, in the comments below as well, because I know that there is like an entrance speed build and stuff like that. Let's move on to island number 2. This one is the one that most of you have been asking about, and it is my color coordinated fairy meadow island. That is a mouthful. I didn't know how better to explain it and describe it. That island is called Meliora, which is, as far as I remember, it's been some time since I worked on it, but that means to improve something, to make something better, and it's kind of part of the entire Equilibrio, like Four Seasons Island world. But this time the challenge is basically to bring color back to the land. So that island is going to be a bunch of like color themed areas, and then a big like colorful kind of flowery meadow in the center. And now for this one, I actually need your help or input more like, because I have started to show the process here on YouTube. There is a playlist with all the Meliora videos until now, which includes like starting the island. We auto-filled the plot, so we also did the mood boarding for this island, which explains the theme a lot better and stuff like that. And my plan was to continue doing that. Basically, we are working on this island on stream, but then my plan was to kind of cut streams down into videos that are like easy to watch. It has been some time since the last video went up though, and I also started a Let's Play series, which I'll get to in a second. But basically my question is, are you still interested to see this process, or would you rather just see like the finished island at some point, maybe a speed build here or there if I want to, or would you actually like to watch the process, which also includes just like probably like one video of just like landscaping some stuff. Of course, I'll try to cut it down and make it a bit more interesting for the YouTube video and stuff like that. But let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below, because I don't really know if that's still something interesting or if it gets too confusing with the Let's Play at the same time and stuff like that. So any input, any help, any advice is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Also, I'll give you a percentage for this one. But literally it's sad. I've maybe 5 to 10% done because basically we haven't really done a lot. We've started decorating the entrance. We have done the code shopping. So like the next videos that I would show would include like a bunch of landscaping process, the code shopping, some entrance decorating, although not all of it. And then we also started working on the red area. But apart from that, we've not really done anything on this island. It's still very early on, and we will continue to work on it. But again, this is a stream island pretty much, so I have just been putting it kind of on hold. And I'm excited to get back to it very soon. But yeah, let me know down below. Island number 3. I have actually not talked about at all on this channel, I think. It's a new island I started when I finished my winter island, and to kind of get you on board with everything that's going on, let me kind of go back a little bit. So I had one Switch to start out with, and then at some point with streaming and all that kind of stuff, I decided to get a second one so that I had a little bit of different aesthetics. I could switch it up every once in a while and stuff like that. And very soon I noticed that I'm apparently the type of person that then won't play for herself anymore because I feel guilty making progress off camera, which is totally ridiculous, but it happened. And so I decided to purchase a Switch Lite, with which, for those of you who don't know, you can't actually make any content with it because you can't like connect it to a capture card, etc. So that Switch I literally just played on for myself, and both my No Terraforming Farmcore Island as well as my Winter Island both happened on that Switch. When the Winter Island was done, I wanted to restart and start a completely different theme that's kind of outside of my comfort zone, which is the island that's currently on the Switch, which is called Verdant. Verdant means something like overgrown with grass or just green. Apparently it's an English word. I didn't know it before I did research for island names. And this island is heavily inspired by Boys Crossing and Blues Horizon. I will link their socials down below. Definitely make sure to check them out. I will also link Shannon, aka QB's island tour of Blues Horizon's island, which was also a main inspiration. And basically this is an abandoned and overgrown city. Yeah, I'm doing a city island. It's still, don't freak out just yet, it's still very overgrown. Like there's so many trees, and I'm still able to like break up the city path that I've got going on and stuff like that with a bunch of trees and cracks in the pathing. So it's still kind of my comfort zone, but also very much not, because I'm doing like more structured builds. I'm doing like fake buildings. It's kind of wild. I will be showing, you know, as I'm chatting, you will see a bunch of like impressions from this island. It's been so much fun. I've had days where I made so much progress, but also every once in a while I do get a little bit stuck because I do notice it's not really the usual type of decorating that I kind of gravitate towards to. And then little story time to get you on board again. So that Switch Lite that this island is on then started acting up, you know, and the left stick seems to be broken. It's not really drift. It's something entirely different. I don't really know what it is or was. And additionally, I have been thinking of upgrading to a regular Switch every once in a while, because I do like to, you know, play on the sofa with my Switch in the docking and just play on the big screen, have my Pro Controller with me and stuff like that. So I had been thinking about that. Plus my birthday was coming up. Plus the Switch Lite kind of started acting up. And my roommate and friend was like, hey, you know, I mean, I wouldn't mind like fixing it and buying it off of you, because maybe I'll just also have a second Switch. And so that happened, or it was supposed to happen. Basically, we decided to do just that. I was going to sell my Switch Lite to her and instead get a regular Switch, which I did. And I pushed Verdant over for the time being, but then I wanted to start a Let's Play series. And because I'm a very impatient person, I wanted to start it right away, but I had no island that was like even close to being finished. And my friend currently is in a bit of a Stardew phase and also just restarted her other island. So she was like, you know, I wouldn't mind if you store Verdant on the Switch Lite again for the time being, so you can start a Let's Play on the new Switch. So I did that. So for the time being, I'm occupying 4 different Switches with my islands, which is kind of wild. And I really should start working on one of my islands to get them finished to free up a Switch, because, you know, after everything, I will have 3 Switches, which is still so much more than enough. But again, it's kind of my job, and so I hope it's okay. But yeah, so Verdant is on the Switch Lite again, and to continue this trend of naming like percentages of how far I've come and like how much is done, I would maybe go with like 50% on this island. I don't know if it's 50%, but I've gotten like the basic kind of flow down. I think I've gotten the basic like structure of the island down. I do have a lot of open spaces though that still need a whole bunch of work, so it's gonna take much time. And then also none of like the interiors are decorated. Also none of the beaches, although the beaches probably will not really be super decorated in most of the spaces. So yeah, I would say like maybe 40 to 50%, something along those lines. And then last but not least, our newest island, which maybe many of you know about, is called Kalon. It is a Let's Play series. We are not that far along right now. I think only the first 2 episodes are up, so if you want to jump in on that journey and you haven't just yet, go and do that. I will link it down below. I do have many episodes recorded already, and I probably will record some new ones after this video, and I'm having a ton of fun. In terms of percentage of being done, I would maybe say like minus 10%. Because at this point we have not even reached the 3 stars, so we really haven't started on that. I do have a theme in mind though, which we'll talk about on the Let's Play, but so far it's really completely in its baby shoes. It's a brand new island still, but I am having a ton of fun with it. And that's pretty much all the current projects. So let's recap, right? Because I feel like all the Switch talk was very confusing. So Switch 1 has the lush green archipelago on it. It's about like 60 to 70% done, and we usually work on this on stream. Switch number 2 has the color coordinated fairy meadow. It is maybe around 5 to 10% finished. We usually work on this on stream, but I can still edit the videos in case you are interested. Switch number 3, the Switch Lite, is currently holding my island Verdant, which is an overgrown, abandoned city island, around maybe 40 to 50% done, and I just work on that in my free time. And then Switch number 4 is Kalon, which is a brand new island still, and the theme really hasn't been announced just yet. And also, as a side note, I do have all the codes that I use on my islands linked on my card. I will link the page down below. They're sorted by like islands, so whatever theme kind of interests you, click on that island and then you'll kind of get to all the different codes. I'm like continuously working on this and adding pictures as I decorate more, but sometimes it's only like text and stuff like that. But I hope that that helps in any way, shape, or form. And I think for now that pretty much wraps it up. Let me know your thoughts about Meliora in the comments below, and anything else really. I love to hear anything. You know I do. Even though I don't always answer comments because I'm terrible at that, I do read them all. I do appreciate them all. So thank you in advance. Thank you also for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss any of the progress on any of these islands, and especially the island tours once they're done and stuff like that. And then I hope you have an awesome time until I see you in the next video. Bye everyone.